Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video we have finally hit level 30 of KIZUNA. Now this is where I imagine that things are going to change, and those additional effects that I spoke about in the prep video are going to kick in. So I've got two teams for you guys for each variation. The first team is going to be the team that can kind of give you guys the most points, and the second team will be like the highest attack, like prowess, I guess is the best way to put it. So let's check it out and let's see if this is the actual one that gives us the extra additional effects. Alright guys, so for the first variation we are taking on the strength variation. So this team here is basically the highest points that I can actually still get. Now if you don't have your own Alvida, you can just put Hachan there, as you do have color affinity with Okiku anyway. So having your own Alvida is not the end of the world, but she is a much higher color affinity boost. Plus, you have the friend as well. So let's hop in and let's see if this team can clear the new content. So some notable supports is we have Cavendish on Bobbins, and we have Whitey Bay on Okiku. Okay, well that's definitely going to help us out the extra 1.1. So thank you to my friend who is helping me. I appreciate you. So let's just blitz our way through these first two stages. Or the first stage, I should say. On the second stage, we should be coming up against... we got the Law interrupt. Okay. Well, Law's going to give us an orb boost, which is fairly handy, I guess. But either way, he does the same mechanics as the regular unit that you verse. And off the top of my head, I actually can't remember who it is. So for this particular stages, we are going to use Bobbins. Bobbins is going to remove that damage reduction. And with the Cavendish support, he's going to get a attack and an orb boost. The main reason for having him too is he gives us the orbs that we need to break through the barrier, and then we can actually use our Alvida special. As I mentioned, that's not overly important. It just gives us extra damage on this particular stage to take out Law nice and easily with the one attack from Bobbins. Unfortunately, Law is always a Psy unit, so we didn't have the color affinity there, but it is what it is. Oh, actually, no, we didn't get the color affinity because he didn't have the immunity to the delay. So Alvida is not even essential at all on this team. I always forget that they need the immunity for that to work. Alright, so now with the new interrupts, there it is. We actually get 5 turns of Gloom, and this is where the support of Whitey Bay is going to come in handy. So first and foremost, we are going to use our Sobomar special first because of his amazing crewmate ability where he actually gets cooldown. Next, we can use Alvida. Alvida is going to give us a higher color affinity boost to our free spirits, which this whole team is besides Sugar. Next, we can use our Okiku special. Okiku is going to remove 2 turns of that Gloom, and then with Whitey Bay, we can remove another 2. And with her double special activation, we can actually get Sanji's special down, so we can actually use it now instead of after Sugar's special. The big upside to doing that is once we use Sugar's special, we can actually turn everyone into bears. And because everyone's bears, we don't actually have to worry about the paralysis. And with Sugar as our captain, we can use her super typing to give us an orb boost. But oh no, Law didn't give us that orb boost. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. It is what it is, though. So with that, we just basically have every buff that we need. We don't have a chain lock because of Sugar's chain boost. But the only unit that's really not getting super boosted here is Sugar herself. You could probably put Sobermask actually down the bottom where Alvida is. That way you're just getting a lot more damage. But as you can see here, like this team's with only 3 units doing 60 mil. It's going to work for a little bit longer of a time. And if we need to, I mean, we could always replace Alvida down the bottom. Eventually, we're going to need to replace the Alvida friend captain as well. But for the moment, it's giving us quite a few extra tickets. As I think it's still around, without Hachan, it's still around 2 times, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2.25, so still a pretty good ball multiplier. So on to the next strength variation. We're running we're running a Sugar and Smoker hybrid team with our own Smoker on our actual crew. We have the same suspects of Whitey Bay on our Okiku and Legend Cavendish on our Bobbins once again, but we're also bringing V2 Shanks here. Now V2 Shanks is really good because he's actually going to give us a full board of orbs, and he's also going to give us a chain buff. That chain buff is going to be really handy for Sugar's bears. So make sure you put Shanks in like the middle right slot though, because you don't want him, he's not doing much damage, so we don't really want him hitting last at the end of that chain multiplier. You want him as early as possible, and the easiest way to do that is putting him in the middle right slot. As I mentioned, we do have Okiku on this team once again. She's going to remove the bind, and she's also our color affinity booster for this team. Alright, Boa, that's who we versed. So Boa is the second fight on this team, and once again we are just going to use our Bobbin special, and with the support of Cavendish we can get ourselves a matching orb, and it's actually going to trigger the super typing of Smoker. We're going to use that super typing here just to extra damage against Boa. Like, it's not overly essential, but like, I mean, we're going to have to use it eventually, and his super typing kind of sucks, to be honest. Like, it's probably the worst of the super typings, if I had to admit. Alright, so on to the last stage against Buggy. So Buggy gives us that new mechanic of Despair, but with the Whitey base support on Okiku, we can remove that as well as getting color affinity. So what we want to do first here is we actually want to use our Smoker special, because Smoker is going to give us a 2.5 times attack boost to our quick units. Make sure you use that before Shanks' special, otherwise Shanks is going to give you a 2.25. After that, we can use our other Smoker special. Because we have an attack boost, Smoker is going to become an orb boost, 2.5 for our quick units once again. Okiku is then going to remove the Gloom Forest with Whitey base help, as well as giving us a 1.75 times color affinity boost to our quick and int units. We can then finish it off with Shank's special, that way we can get a full board of orbs, as well as that chain multiplier buff. And finally, we can turn everyone into bears using Sugar's amazing special. And obviously with Sugar as leader, we can get her super typing as well. We're just going to use it just because, like, it's not going to do anything. But with that, we don't have to worry about the paralysis. Shanks is going to do no damage, but then the rest of them are just going to absolutely clean house. So this team should have plenty of damage. Working it out in my head, doing quick maths, it'll easily do probably around 150 mil. And I don't see it having too many issues moving forward, until you get to those really later stages. So moving on to the next variation now, we have the int variation. Now this particular variation, it's not going to need a lot of changing. This team actually has so much damage still that it's going to work for quite a while. But I'll still show off a team that has what I believe is probably higher attack, just because we can replace our Alvida with someone like what's his name? The rare recruit Sabo, and we can replace Hachan as well. But they're both very, very useful. So what we want to do on the first turn is we're going to switch into our Peroni unit. That way we can switch into Mihawk on the next turn to get the negative effect, and then switch back into Perona on the final stage. On stage 2, we come up against Sabo, who has 5 turns of a barrier for 12 hits, and he puts up 4 turns of defense up. So this is where using our Alvida is very, very handy, as Alvida is actually just going to remove that defense up. We can then switch with Mihawk Perona, so we can get the negative effect for a little bit of extra damage. And then we can use our Boa special, as Boa is going to then activate super typing, and we can just get a little bit more of a heal. The reason we want that little bit of extra heal is so we can actually activate the 5 times multiplier for Boa moving into the final stage, because as you guys will see here, we should get around 10,000 healing, which should fully activate her captain ability. But I'm not sure if it is 10,000, it might be 7. From the database, it seems like it's 10, but I guess that's something for you guys to let me know in the comment section, I guess. So, onto the final stage against Buggy and his minions, we can switch into Perona. Then we can use our Hachan special. Hachan is going to give us the cooldowns we need for our crewmates. Then we can use our Mihawk Perona special for the negative conditional boost. Then we can use our Law special for the chain lock and the orb boost. And then finally we can get color affinity with Alvida. Before we start attacking though, we are going to use the super typing of Boa. That way we can get a 2.5 times attack boost to our Psy units, as well as become super Psy units, obviously doing more damage to int units. As you can see there as well, with this particular variation, our ship gets blinded. So we lose our ship's ability, but it is what it is, you know, like it's not the end of the world, as like this team really doesn't need the help. As you guys can see there, like 60 mil, and like we didn't even attack with anyone else on Buggy. So it's going to work very, very well, and I don't imagine it will need too much changing for a very long time. With all of the extra point boosters on this one too, we should get around 2.47 extra tickets as well. So it's a very, very nice multiplier, and if you guys need tablets, this is the best way to get them, to be honest. Alright guys, so the second side team, or for the in variation that I wanted to show you guys, was just super scuffed. and I totally cucked the whole run. So basically this team should put out the most amount of damage. What you guys want to do is use Sanji Judge on stage 2 against Sabo to reset the defense to 0, and then take him out on that turn. And then when you move into the final stage, use the Boa special to get the Mera Mera ability, as Buggy doesn't have an interrupt until turn 3. That way you can get the healing for the 5 times multiplier for Boa, and then Sanji Judge will go back into their single forms, and you can switch to get the chain multiplier buff. Then with Boa's special, giving you guys the cooldowns, you'll have everyone's specials back. That way you can pop Law, you can pop Sabo, and you can pop Mihawk and Perona, get the 2 times negative effect conditional boost, the 2.25 times orbs, the chain lock with the chain boost and the chain multiplier effect to get a really high chain multiplier, and then finally you get a 2.25 times color affinity to the free spirit and strikers. Use Sanji and Judge and Mihawk Perona to take out the 2 units in the back, and then you can use your 4 free spirit units to take out Buggy himself. So sorry I didn't actually get this run in, it was just super scuffed and I'm at work. So this is the team. Give it a try if you need high damage, but that other team that I had before this, it does a lot of damage, so I'll probably be running that for most of the Kizuna. Alright, on to the quick variation now. The team's changed a little bit from my initial video. I actually put the treasure map Luffy on this team, so it's a lower orb multiplier, but he has the ability to rotate orbs as well as being a free spirit unit. So that way he's going to make sure that we get extra damage just by hitting with that particular unit. So apologies for my prep video and my first playthrough. I had Judge on this team for the color affinity, but obviously Judge is going to remove Garp's chain lock. So thank you to those guys in the comment section. I do appreciate the comments. Any comments are more than welcome as long as they're positive. Any criticism I'm more than open to. We're a learning curve here, and helping each other is what we do. So because we do have the Luffy, we can still activate the super typing as well of Kid. That is very, very important. And we can just sort of blitz our way through this first stage. On to the second stage now. We are going to come up against Jinbei. Jinbei has a perfect barrier, 2 perfect hits for 5 turns. And he has the threshold. So with Jinbei, he gives us 1 of every orb, and he has that annoying orb lock mechanic on our captain. So this is where Hachan's really, really good. He's going to remove that threshold for us. And then with the super typing of Kid, we can actually just get a whole board of orbs that way. What we want to do here is we do want to actually break those perfect barriers on our captains, and that way we can sort of just like take out Jinbei with normal attacks. On the final stage, the new mechanic that Buggy actually does is he should make every color orb non-matching from memory. Yeah, so he makes every color orb non-matching, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not the end of the world. It actually works in our favor a little bit. So we're going to use the Garp special here to remove the special blind and give us the chain lock, so we don't have to worry about that chain coefficient. Buggy obviously has an interrupt to HP cuts, but it's 1 because normal attacks only, so it doesn't matter. Then we can use the Luffy special to give us a 2 times orb boost. He's also going to give our captains matching orbs. Now the big upside to doing that is when we use our Kid special for the 2.5 times attack boost for Dex units, he actually gets a Super Bomb orb, which is pretty handy. We can then finish it off with Alvida's special for the 2.25 times color affinity boost, and with that we should have plenty of damage to take out Buggy. Attacking in a particular order will sort of help you guys out, but with the super effectiveness all types that Hachan has as well, they're going to do heaps of damage. So as you can see there, we still didn't attack with 2 units. So this team's going to work for quite a while, to be honest. I don't see it having too many issues, but having all 3 boosters on this particular team as well, it works really, really well. It works really, really well. So we get that 2.47? Yeah, 2.47. So it gives us quite a few extra tickets. So make sure you run those boosters if you have them. Alright guys, so on to the final team of this video. We're coming against the quick variation of Buggy. And for this team, we're using a Kid and Shanks crew hybrid team. So with the changes to this team, we are using Jinbei, as he's a huge stat booster, and then we have Luffy for the orb boost as well as Judge for our color affinity. Now the reason we're bringing a Shanks crew friend captain is Shanks crew just is immune to special blind, which is going to help us out significantly, and that way we've got a chain locker as well, a 3.5 times chain locker. That way we can utilize the 2 times color affinity of Judge without it affecting our Garp special that we were using on the other team. So on this first stage, we are just going to blitz through this one. No issues whatsoever here. And then on the second turn, we are going to come up against Jinbei himself. Jinbei is going to give us one of every single colored orb, and does that threshold. So once again, we are going to use our Hachan special. Hachan is going to remove the threshold, and then we can use our V2 Jinbei 6+ to give us an attack boost and turn all our orbs into matching, which is really cool. Really cool. But because we have Kid, oh, I should have used that next. It is what it is. You know what? We're here now. Boys, we're here now. And it is what it is. So, we are just going to break through the barrier. Make sure you are attacking with your captains so you can break that slot blind on your captains, as we do want to get rid of that. Yeah, you want to use the super typing on the buggy turn. That way you can just guarantee an orb on Kid, but again, just scuffed run. So on to the final stage. This special bind is going to mean absolutely nothing to us, as Shanks just removes that. So what we're going to do here first is we're just going to use our Judge special. Judge is going to remove that chain coefficient and give us a color affinity boost. Then we can use our Luffy or Laffy special to get us a 2.5 times orb boost. Then we can use our Kid special to give us a 2.5 times attack boost to our Dex units. And then finally we can switch with Shanks crew. That way we can just guarantee an orb on Kid, but ideally you should have a super bomb orb on him, but it's not the end of the world. Finally we can use the Shanks crew special for the 3.5 times chain lock and the HP cut. That doesn't mean anything because Buggy's just going to heal it back. And then we can start the chain with Shanks and finish it off with our other units. Now this team is going to have heaps of damage. I don't see this team having any issues for a very long time, especially with Jinbei being like an extra stat booster. He's going to do quite a lot of damage. So there you guys go. There were the teams for the stages 30+ against this KIZUNA clash against Buggy. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to belt that like button if you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content I post. Hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. What?